like, Lewis, what are your dreams with the future?
I really, really want to become like an audiobook narrator.
Oh.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
I think that'd be really.
That's
yeah,
great.
no, I think that'd be
reading
great.
audiobooks.
I read audiobooks to get it.
That's
like,
great.
get
Yeah,
a
like
home
you
studio.
have a pretty good voice.
Well, it's like your voice
right?
actually is like pretty soft and soothing.
Imagine a whole story.
Audiobooks, interesting. Like that's.
Yeah, I brought a book. If you want to like.
Would you like to give us a sample?
I'd like to give a sample.
A sample of
could.
things to come. Yes.
Yeah,
to
things
come.
to come. So like imagine like this from me, you know.
What's
coming
that?
from
What are
your
you
card.
reading?
Oh, this is from a book called Asimov Laughs Again. And it's a companion piece to Isaac Asimov's Treasury of Humor.
You may remember Isaac Asimov's Treasury of Humor from, I believe it was episode 2 of Ben Hart.
And Isaac Asimov is at it again.
A man who is, again, not known for his joke writing. This is his
even
second
after two
joke
books,
book.
not
after
known
two
at all.
books, never.
Yeah. This one's got 700 alone.
Read to me a Asimov
Okay, yeah.
joke.
All right, bring it
Fan
on.
of jokes. I like
Just
jokes.
a brief selection of jokes. All right. From Asimov Laughs Again by Isaac Asimov. Joke number 457. Nymphomaniacal Jill tried a dynamite stick for a thrill. They found her vagina in North Carolina and bits of her tits in Brazil. Joke number 400.
He's better. He's better. He's a lot better.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than the first book. Okay, yeah, read another one.
458. Nymphomaniacal Alice
Nymphomaniacal.
used a dynamite stick as a phallus. They found her vagina in North Carolina and part of her anus in Dallas. That's joke number 458.
Oh, he's good, man.
Excellent reading on that,
Yeah,
Lewis.
Oh, thank you.
reading
Thank you
is
very
great.
much. I mean, it's all in the text.
Is there?
And then one more, if we
Yeah,
got
go
time
ahead,
for it.
one more, yeah.
we
Joke
have time.
400. Joke number 459. Nymphomaniacal Doris dynamited her pelvic floors. They found her vagina in North Carolina, and her ass landed on my Ford Taurus.
Asimov.
And that's
you
just a brief
sound-
selection of jokes from Asimov Laughs Again.
Asimov laughs
look
again.
at
Pleased to meet you. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. Pleased to meet you. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. La 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 It's a new show on television. Watch it. I'm on television. La la la
For our next segment, my beloved co-host Nikki Moon has made a video for us. I'm just gonna turn it over to you, Nikki.
Well, thank you, Ben. And of course, I have had, a lot of fun on this show. I had a lot of fun making this show with you guys. And I just feel like, I wanted to create a short video segment of probably the best moments of the show thus far. So I proudly
really
present.
nice.
I proudly present to our audience here. Of course, Nikki presents the best
to us.
moments of the Ben Harkins with Ben Harkins.
Okay, and moving on to our first segment. We're gonna do about
I'm pumped!
Can't do it.
I didn't mean you don't fucking cook.
It's got a lot of dribble.
Fucking terrible.
Oh my god, I always wanted one of these. We just moved into a new apartment again.
Let's well, thank you.
The greatest
Thank
hits.
you very much,
Greatest
Nikki.
hits.
That's pretty
It was
good.
good. Thank
Greatest
you for
hits.
the Nikki Moon's greatest hits, everybody. For this segment, we actually want to get to the real questions. You know, what's on everybody's mind that nobody really wants to talk about, but everybody wants to know. Hey, it's what happens when you die, and so we formed a list of the different things that might happen to us after we die, and let's just launch into it. So number one on the list, very popular these days, is lights out. Lights out. That's where you get hit by a train. You don't. Boom, there's nothing. When you die, there's nothing. You don't even notice that there's nothing. That's how little there is after you're dead.
Yes, you're not even aware of even darkness or blackness. It's just nothing. Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of this one because, it seems like it's a pretty stress-free kind of thing. Lights out, lights out.
Well, if out of 10, at a scale 1 to 10, what would you give Lights
I'm
Out?
going to give Lights Out probably 10 out of 10 because it just seems like you don't have to worry about anything.
I have to agree with, of course, you, Ben, on this one.
You don't even have to remember that you miss the people who are still alive after you're dead.
Lights Out, 10 out of 10 for me. Lewis?
I'm going to give it a 0 out of 10. I find it terrifying. It raises a lot of questions. What was it all for? That kind of stuff. So 0 out of 10 for me. I don't like it.
0 out of 10.
What's
All
the
right.
next one?
All right, so the next one is reincarnation. Now, reincarnation, that's where when you die, you come back as another person or like an animal. And this has just been going on the whole time. None
it
of us
really
can
doesn't make
remember what it was.
Forever.
It doesn't make a difference because you're never aware of your past life.
Yeah, you sort of dip your toes into Lights Out and you just pop out and look, you're a
back.
kangaroo.
I think
hey,
it's kinda wishful
oh wow,
thinking.
look at how long your legs are. Oh, you're a baby giraffe. You can walk as soon as you're born. Very.
It's all balanced.
Yeah, it's just you don't really remember anything, and it just kind of keeps going. They just don't.
Imagine if reincarnation was like you woke up as an animal, but you were aware that you were a human. Wouldn't that be horrifying?
What if that's what every animal is doing?
Yeah, what if that would be animal?
Every animal, when they look at you, they just can't scream the way that they want to. Anytime your cat is looking at you, it's just like some accountant being like, "Where's my wife?" I like that. That's pretty funny.
At scale 1 to 10, what do you give reincarnation?
I'm going to give reincarnation a 7 out of 10. I think it would be cool to come back as a flamingo. You get to just hang out with other flamingos, eat cook all day. That sounds like a life that's basically a vacation. So
Unless I could pick what I wanted to be. It sounds like reincarnation, very random process. I give it 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, because you might end up being some sort of intestinal parasite or a centipede and tripping over your own legs.
Yeah, it wouldn't really matter either way because you would be unaware of any life anyways. But I mean, still, after being a human, I just can't imagine being anything else.
Lewis, what are your thoughts on reincarnation?
My thoughts on reincarnation, like you are a human, you go back to being an animal. It's because that you did something. Like when you're a human, there's an internal logic there. And I like that. It's a system. I like that. So I give it a 9 out of 10. It doesn't get perfect marks because still it's just like, what was it all for? But 9 out of 10. I understand it.
I like it. Okay.
Okay.
Number 3 on our list is hell. Now, hell is hell. Out of all of the different things that might probably happen after we die. I do have to say that hell definitely gets the Oscar for set design. I like the flame.
biblical hell. Yeah,
the
exactly.
biblical hell. The demons, the fire. Like maybe they listen to heavy metal.
The
Slayer.
creativity
Yeah.
that you would need to actively create everyone's specific torture for all of eternity. I mean, that would just be an amazing creative process. If you
And it
imagine
would be
if
an
you were
like an endless job. As
an
long as
endless
people are
job.
doing,
Yeah.
Eternal damnation. The truth is, one thing I do have to say is like you'd be surprised what you can get used to. Like if hell goes on forever, like if somebody's gonna jam like a pineapple down my throat for breakfast every day, the first time I'm gonna be like, that was the worst thing ever. That was the worst thing ever. But
Yeah.
like, give me 100 years to get used to that, and before you know, it's like, they're shoving a pineapple down my throat. Oh, it must be
And
breakfast
it wouldn't even
again.
it wouldn't even be like it wouldn't even be 100 years. Honestly, after like 2 or 3 years, like I think you'd get pretty used to it. Like,
3
and
years
you
in
have
hell.
all of
Really
eternity. Yeah, 2 or 3 years. You're
Yeah, you're just gonna get bored with all the whips and chains and the,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
Hell, I'm gonna give Hell a 3 out of 10 because I kind of like I like the poetry aspect of it, where they'll be like, hey, you spent your whole life eating donuts on the couch. Here's a million donuts, like on The Simpsons. I like it that it's like a Twilight Zone episode that doesn't end.
Like on The Simpsons.
yeah, something like that. If it's like Simpsons Hell, I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
That was such a funny episode.
Mm-hmm.
I give high marks to Hell. 8.
8 out of 10.
pretty high. That's
8
nice.
out of
You're
10.
giving anything.
8 out of 10. I
Wait.
love the creativity.
What did you give Reincarnation?
I gave it a 4.
Okay, wow. 8 out of 10 for Hell.
Hell
That's
is
twice as
Hell. I
good.
like a little more. I think even like if
Twice as
you
much.
were working for Hell, wouldn't that be like great?
No.
Why wouldn't it? You're the ones like dishing out the pain. That would be a reward.
Forever.
Yeah,
Just-
forever.
Maybe heaven that you get to work in hell.
Yeah. What do you give Hell?
I give it 0. It's hell.
That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair enough. Yeah, Hell. Number 5 on our list is Heaven. And
I don't even know
that
what.
just sounds
I don't
like
even know.
awful. Like going to church forever.
But like, what if heaven was just like your specific like euphoria?
Like just feeling good forever.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that get old when it's forever? Like, doesn't that become hell eventually? Just like the things that you love always whenever you want them? Like, where's the reward? Where's
Yeah,
the...
Lewis, what are your thoughts on heaven?
Heaven, I'm open to it. I'm open to it for a year. Try it out for a year. See.
A year free trial.
Year free
in
trial.
heaven,
A year
yeah.
free trial to heaven sounds like heaven.
Actually, that does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
A year
Where it's like
free
you don't want
trial
a
in
full
heaven?
contract.
If you get to
But
try
then
it,
you, but then you
and
would,
then you could just toss your consciousness into
yeah.
nothingness
Yeah.
if you want, I guess. Anything that's good, if you have it forever,
Yeah.
that's hell eventually. Like, can you just imagine just getting your dick sucked for 1 whole week, and it's just always going. Like, it's disgusting. It's
Morning, noon,
it's
and night.
yeah, it's awful.
You wake up, it's still going.
Yeah, you wake up, it's still going, and you're just wondering like what day it is.
Yeah.
Can I walk like this? Can I?
You wouldn't be able to walk. You wouldn't be really able
be
to go
embarrassed.
anywhere. And even like, not even like a week.
It would be rude.
I mean,
It would be
It'd definitely
really
be rude to
rude.
walk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah, blowjob. Yeah, blowjob heaven. That's blowjob hell. I think that heaven in general is. If it's like church, then you're just going to be ashamed of getting a boner for all of eternity. And if it's like blowjob heaven,
Heaven.
then it's eventually going to be hell anyway.
Yeah, I
so.
give a blowjob heaven a 6, and I give regular heaven a 5.
Well, it's never easy to say goodbye to a project, especially something as big as this. You know, it really, now that we're reaching the end, it always makes me, it just makes me wonder, like, what did I really want to say? What was I driving at with this whole show? And I really just wanted to take a moment to just really talk about the big picture. And I've heard, like, many people say that nothing matters and it's all for nothing because there's no point in anything. And I wonder, like, all the people who say that, it's all for nothing, oh, nothing matters. I hear it so often, it makes me wonder if they're right. And I'll look around and I'll look for inspiration, and I'll just look around and I'll see something, and it's kind of stupid, and I don't understand it. It's not interesting, and it's not important, and I'll just be looking at it, and I'll be like, but I am actually looking at it, and it is happening, and that's gotta mean something. You know, even if the meaning is unclear. I definitely, it's not that nothing matters. I think that everything matters, just only a little bit. Like, everything is there, and that's fine. And then someday you're just gonna look around and you'll see something and it's gonna completely freak you out. So yeah, everything matters, just only a little bit. It's not a big deal. And that, to me, is the big picture. Nah, you don't have to. Our next segment is called a hard-fought debate, in which me and my co-host Nikki Moon are going to have a hard-fought debate.
What will we be debating today?
Lewis, stand in the middle here.
In between your two swords.
Yes.
Right here? Okay.
Yes. Just stand back. Okay.
I'll just stand back
and
here.
And today's topic, which we have agreed upon to meet on this battlefield, is we will debate whether it is truly better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And me on Team Loved and Lost, I will be representing Team Loved and Lost, and Nikki will be representing Team Never at All. And here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, you hit him.
Well, well, since you're the moderator, who goes first?
Loved and Lost, you got the floor.
The reason why people say it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all is because everybody knows it to be true. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, when I used to go to the Burgerville drive-thru, and they would have sweet potato fries, and that was my favorite food, was sweet potato fries. And one day I went back and I ordered the sweet potato fries, and they said, we don't have sweet potato fries anymore. That's a seasonal item. And I couldn't have them anymore. I couldn't have what I wanted, and I was disappointed, but I went to other restaurants eventually, and other restaurants do have sweet potato fries all year round, actually. And through learning that I loved sweet potato fries at the Burgerville drive-thru, I now know myself that I can even make them at home if I want. You know, you have to learn to love someone in order to love the next person.
Ah. Okay, so even though you lost the sweet potato fries, you gained the experience.
The experience
and you
of
emerged
having
a richer person.
Yes.
Okay, that's a really compelling point. Now the floor goes to have never loved at all.
Never to have
We're
loved.
gonna, get a shot at Nikki. There. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Never to have loved at all. It is much better, of course, than to never to have loved at all. But I will like to make the point, of course, that I am on the losing side of the argument because, of course, the phrase, even though it's kind of an unbiased like kind of question, it is really only said to those that you are comforting. Of course, because
After they have lost.
Yeah, after they have lost, of course. So I mean, of course, I kind of have the losing end of the argument, but I still hold my ground though. And also, I mean, I kind of I think it's just like ironic the fact that, of course, that you pick the love. Of course, sign. I mean, you are in, of course, a happy relationship with your pretty girlfriend.
Yeah, so
and I
actually, people who are fans of the show will have seen this, but I do have a very surprisingly.
Yes, exactly. So it's easy
Pretty
for you to
girlfriend.
say. It's easy for you to say, of course. But let me ask you this, Ben. Of course, what would happen if, of course, like, what if your pretty girlfriend broke up with you?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like if she did it like in a text message? Like, what would you?
I suppose I would have to look for a new apartment now because
But even
we are together, and I would definitely be very upset if that were to happen.
would you still think that it was better to have gone through the experience than never to have experienced it at all? I imagine the pain would be deep.
Yeah, that's another really good point. Would you rather have just never met Wendy in the first place?
Yeah,
Very
I
pretty
can't
girlfriend in the
imagine a
first place.
world where I would have never. I'd rather have met my pretty girlfriend than have never met my pretty girlfriend. Yes. Even if it's not, even if we're not together forever, I'm happy that we
But Ben,
could have.
how do you love though?
Whoa.
Well, I don't know if I'm the person to answer that question for you, Nikki. But you could.
Is it better to love someone else more than you love yourself, or love yourself more than you love another person?
Well, I think you can do both, Nikki. I think you should do both.
I don't agree.
You don't.
I think you should probably I think you should love yourself probably a little more.
Well, it's sort of an abstraction at that point, Nikki. I think that you could. I think that the more you love yourself, the better you are at loving others.
Well, I mean, you're not even really on the side of love, really. You're on the side of pain.
Well,
and I feel like
love is not love is painful sometimes, and but I do, you know, that's part of it, you know.
you should just get like an OkCupid or something.
I think that you should get an OkCupid or a Tinder or you know, I think I think you should try to meet somebody again. And you know, you've had a long.
But what if it just happens again? What if I just go through the same exact pain that I went through? You know, because like I
it
feel
just
like I
happens
kind of
over
like
and over
lost
again.
like I feel like I kind of lost like two really good women just because I was chasing after someone who was not in love with me. So what if like something like that happens again? Why would I want to put myself through that again?
Well, I think that love is something that you have to just let happen. You can't if you try to control it too much, then it's not that's not how you're supposed to do it. You know, that's how people get hurt. You know, and also, you know, even when you do love right, sometimes it's gonna hurt. But you know, I think you're a good guy, and you're gonna meet somebody again eventually. You know.
Well, who won?
You kind of stopped fighting about halfway through. You started consoling each other.
Well, I think that's a pretty
Like
hard-fought debate.
Hard-fought debate.
Yeah. All right. That was a hard-fought debate.
Hard-fought debate.
So I guess that's it, guys. Thank you. Thanks to everyone for watching the show. We did it so you'd watch it, and thanks a lot. I guess that all we can really do now is leave you with a song.
Cookies and crackers. We all need these.
Cause we all need
These. In this town. Hoodies and jackets. We all wear these. But you don't have to wash these. All year round. We used to fall in love. There's only garbage in the sea. And no more stars, just red with cameras in the trees. There's no more time, just clocks and traffic in the streets. There's no more streets, there's only bones, but in our feet, cookies and crackers. We all need these, 'cause we all need these in this town. Hoodies and jackets. We all wear these, 'cause you don't have to wash these all year round. The sea is a place where Harkins. Everlasting Harkins. We're gonna live forever. The everlasting Harkins.
We're Ben Harkins. Pleased to meet you. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. Pleased to meet you. We're Ben Harkins. La 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 la. We're Ben Harkins. La la la.
We really never do hang out.
We never hang out.
Anytime we hang out, it's always working on the show.
Yeah. And kind of like later in the day, too, which I think affects the mood. Like it feels early.
I don't ever feel
I've never seen you guys this early before.
Yeah.
Yeah.